Greetings, Earthlings. Oz here from planetOZ. Happy Halloween month. And as you can see, I have my costume for today is I'm dressed up as one of those people who believes in ideas that other people find strange. So that is my costume, and I'm standing in an unusual spot today. I'm back out here a little so you can get some context of what this thing is, what this looks like. And there's our AT-AT friend there. So this is called The Little World for obvious reasons, I suppose. It's a little world scene made largely out of train set parts, and it was made for a film. It was made for a documentary that I directed, and when I was a kid, my first films were made with stop motion, and I really love stop motion. It's just been an interest of mine my whole life. So professionally, this documentary gave me an opportunity to employ some of it. And so in order to demonstrate some of the concepts in the film, we built this little world, and there are a bunch of little people in there, and a lot of the stuff is the little extra stuff is gone from when we shot, but it was basically it had a bunch of cars and a bunch of other stuff, and it was quite elaborate, and we moved everything around and we animated it in stop motion in order to realize some of these concepts. And then this guy is somebody that my wife and I painted a couple summers ago. And anyway, he was up here in this strange spot above my closet until we got this inherited this prop from the film, and so kind of just decided to bake him into the whole scene and give him something and somebody to really stomp on, because that's what he's always wanted and has been missing since he's been up here all on his own. But anyway, what does any of this have to do with planetOZ, and what is a planetOZ? What is the planetOZ angle on this little world here that we're looking at? The reason I was inspired to use this as a background is because the thing that I want to talk about today has to do with this aspect of a lot of esoteric and spiritual teachings that tell us that we are to view the world without judgment. And in other cases, it might say you should find the beauty in everything and you should find the love in everything. But that's, I guess, one could consider that an advanced step from what the first thing is, which is, first of all, view things without judgment. So we're told, and we're to look upon the world and all those within it without judgment. And the reason that we are supposed to do that is because if we are able to see the truth of all things, we find that all things are in process. There isn't anything in this realm that's done. Nothing in this realm is complete. Nothing in this realm is done moving. So everything is in motion, everything is in process. So I guess it's kind of like, my read on that was, the takeaway was, it would be kind of like holding it against a high school student that they didn't have a college degree. And obviously, at their particular point in their journey, they are a work in progress. They're progressing toward that point, and they're not there yet. So of course they don't have a college. It's ludicrous to think that we would hold something like that. So the idea then is that if everything, absolutely everything, is in progress, then anytime we judge something, we are effectively holding it accountable for not being further along in the process. And this process is understood to be something that we're all in, and we're all at various points. So as easily as we would judge someone or something for being behind us in the process, then to do so we would have to accept the judgment of all those who are ahead of us in the process, and it's probably not something we want to do when we really think about it in terms of brass tacks. So this little model, I came to this model after thinking about this concept of not judging things many times as I go out and I walk around in the urban city environment in which I live. So I go walk on the streets, and there are rusted out fences, busted old broken lampposts, city things that aren't maintained. There are nuggets on the ground, could be from an animal, maybe not. And there's stuff. There's a lot of drug addiction, and there's a lot of people who they might be passed out on the sidewalk. There's a lot of tents. There's a lot of crime. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of police calls. Not to make this out to be all terrible. It's not. There's a lot about it that's beautiful, but I take it to heart, and I have it in my mind when I'm walking, and when I see this area and I see some of these things, that I guess one could argue it's actually a great place to be if you want to work on seeing things without judgment, because you are really challenged by that, not just in judging things as negative, or judging the things that people are doing as negative things, or they're on a bad path, or something like that, but even just to judge the decay, even just to judge the situation, to look at any of it and not see anything bad is difficult to do. But as I would be walking along and I would see, trash on the ground, or somebody passed out or whatever, it reminded me of this experience of working on this little world and what this little world is artistically. Because if you look closely at some of the details that are strewn all throughout it, you have garbage cans and garbage bags. You have people who are passed out in the alleys. You have an abandoned cemetery. You have dirty factories. And so all of this stuff, when you look at this little world and you examine its details, or when you kind of step back from it and take it in whole, it's interesting that all of these things are beautiful. Every millimeter of this project of building this tiny world is full. There's a whole art team that poured heart and soul into making every detail of this look amazing. And it could have been made any way we wanted. We could have done an idealized version of it in which everything was super slick, super modern, and perfectly clean, or we could have done something from the Industrial Revolution and made it all filthy and gnarly and all that. But instead, it ultimately was right for the film that it be basically present day and more or less a reflection of our current society and what it looks like. But when you look at these things, like these trash cans and these people and the dirt and all of that stuff, it all looks really beautiful in the context of this model. It all looks very purposeful. It all looks very artistic, and it's it's amazing in its detail, and we glory in these little details, whatever they are, and none of it reads as positive or negative necessarily. It's just kind of art, and it's just kind of beautiful. But the point of all of this is that based on that idea, I have attempted to adopt it and use it in such a way is that when I'm walking out on the streets, I then try to imagine it in the same light as this little world was built, and the same reasoning behind why these things don't look ugly to us in this context. They don't look ugly to us because they look like they are designed. They look like they have purpose. They look like they're meant to be there, and they're part of the whole. And just the idea that there is design and artist, intent and consciousness behind the things that are in this model makes it interesting, attractive, and artistic to us. So in wandering around and just thinking about, like, well, what if you're to imagine, or in my case, I was saying, what if I was to imagine that everything that I'm seeing here is here by design, that all of it is an intentional detail on some level, by someone or by us all, maybe co-created, or however it has manifest, it is there and with purpose and with intent. And that might be an esoteric, meaningless woo-woo thing, or it might be something that actually is a true manifestation of how it's all working and how all of this is coming to be. But regardless of the actual truth of it, just in the thinking of it that way, it has proven quite helpful in viewing the real world as something that is just a work in progress. Everything and all people in their rightful place as wherever they are in their work in progress. And all of this way of seeing the world outside and how it works, and everything that we consider to be beautiful, and some things that maybe we would consider not to be, but could possibly look upon without any judgment, just gained as a little lesson from this here little world that my dog about that was amazing to work with, amazing to see it come together, to work on it. And it's a little world, little reflection of the bigger picture, and perhaps in reflecting some of the ills of it in an artistic way that looks beautiful, there's something to take away and apply in the real world. So that is the little world, and this is Oz signing off from planetOZ. Godspeed.